Never try to fool a Sigma INFJ. They will always be able to tell when someone is deliberately trying to twist the truth or is acting dishonestly. Sigma INFJ cuts someone off right away if they do this. These are 8 strategies a Sigma INFJ uses to stop a gaslighter right away. 8. By never confirming the beliefs of the gaslighter. In circumstances when individuals who gaslight others attempt to manipulate feelings or create self-doubt, Sigma INFJs remain emotionally detached. They are aware of the emotional tricks that gaslighters use, therefore they purposefully keep their distance to stop the manipulation from becoming entrenched. Sigma INFJ is able to rely on verification from reliable sources. They can verify the veracity of their impressions by speaking with friends, relatives, or impartial sources of information. Their will to withstand attempts at gaslighting is reinforced by this outside affirmation. Therefore, Sigma INFJs firmly refuse to endorse the claims of gaslighters in order to prioritize their mental health and sense of worth. They erect a defense that keeps them from being taken advantage of. This strategy gives Sigma INFJs the ability to deal with difficult circumstances with resiliency, clarity, and a dedication to their own truth. 7. By sticking to their account of what happened. The significance of preserving the integrity of their story is acknowledged by Sigma INFJ. They are aware that people who practice gaslighting could try to plant doubts. But Sigma INFJ builds a strong, impervious foundation by remaining steadfast in their own truth. This steadfast adherence to their version of events serves as a defense against attempts at gaslighting. A crucial component of this tactic is aggressive and transparent communication. The experiences and viewpoints of Sigma INFJs are clearly expressed, preventing any possibility of manipulation or misunderstanding. They set out their limits and declare that their account of what happened is true and cannot be changed. Another strength Sigma INFJ uses to counteract attempts at gaslighting, which are meant to cause doubt or confusion, is emotional resilience. By keeping their emotions stable, they keep the gaslighter from upsetting them and make sure they remain rooted in reality. Sigma INFJs could also go to reliable sources for confirmation. Confirming the accuracy of their version of events is made easier for them by consulting friends, relatives, or impartial sources. This outside confirmation provides more protection against attempts at gaslighting. How does the gaslighter react as a Sigma INFJ when you stick to your version of events? 6. By being really honest. By being truthful all the time, Sigma INFJ builds a strong foundation for their own reality that is less vulnerable to deceptions perpetrated by gaslighters. This approach's strength lies in how straightforward it is. The Sigma INFJ steers clear of fabrications, exaggeration, and embellishments. This dedication to the truth guards against the introduction of false narratives that can skew their perception of what happened, making it a potent countermeasure to gaslighting. Adopting an honest stance supports the emotional resilience of Sigma INFJ against attempts at gaslighting, which are intended to create uncertainty or confusion. They remain grounded because of their steadfast devotion to the truth. When the gaslighter tries to undermine their emotions and perceptions, this emotional stability serves as a barrier to make sure that their interpretation of events is consistent with the real world. Sigma INFJs should also look for confirmation from reliable sources. Their stance is further strengthened by this outside validation, which also increases the veracity of their honest account. 5. By establishing unbending limits. Setting boundaries that are based on open communication is a top priority for Sigma INFJs. They are clear in expressing their demands and expectations, leaving no space for interpretation. Its lucidity not only strengthens their comprehension of appropriate conduct, but also acts as a benchmark for others, highlighting the non-negotiable aspects of the exchange. Sigma INFJs create an uncrossable boundary by establishing non-negotiable limits. They won't put up with attempts to subvert their reality or entertain deceptive methods. This tenacity dissuades gaslighters from attempting to twist the story in the future by sending a strong message about their unwavering sense of self and truth. When boundaries are crossed, Sigma INFJ is skilled at spotting warning signs and taking appropriate action. This proactive strategy guarantees that manipulative behavior is promptly handled and keeps gaslighters from taking root in their brain. Sustaining these inflexible limits is critical to the mental health of Sigma INFJs. They put self-care first and won't jeopardize their emotional well-being to please a gaslighter. Their interactions are motivated by this dedication to their own well-being, which fortifies their resistance to manipulation. How can you establish clear boundaries with someone who lacks them as a Sigma INFJ? 4. By interrupting them mid-sentence. This resolute move makes it quite evident that Sigma INFJs will not put up with deceptive tactics. Sigma INFJ keeps control of their reality and safeguards their mental health by ending the conversation. This break acts as a barrier and a way to enforce the rules. When it comes to their emotional well-being, Sigma INFJs are alert to the warning signals of gaslighting. They stop the gaslighter from getting a footing and upsetting their sense of reality by quickly quitting the conversation. Assertive communication is one way that Sigma INFJs may express their desire to step back. They let it be known that they find deceptive approaches uncomfortable, and that they will not engage in discussions that cast doubt on their veracity. Their devotion to self-preservation and sincerity is strengthened by their aggressiveness. Cutting someone off in the middle of a discussion is a strong deterrent. The capacity to gradually create doubt and confusion is a fertile ground for gaslighters. By refusing to let the gaslighting continue their deceptive story, Sigma INFJ disrupts this process. This break serves as a barrier that is difficult for the gaslighter to cross. 3. By refusing to comply with their requests. A distinct boundary that protects their sense of self is established by Sigma INFJ when they refuse to give in to the demands of a gaslighter. Sigma INFJs put their own truth above pandering to irrational demands. Although they are aware that manipulative tactics like manipulation can be used by gaslighters to control relationships or situations, Sigma INFJs uphold their autonomy by refusing such demands. This rejection of coercive dynamics turns into a potent defense mechanism for oneself. A crucial component of this tactic is aggressive and transparent communication. Confident in their denial, Sigma INFJs don't leave any possibility for compromise. The Sigma INFJ's dedication to upholding their own reality is reinforced by this clear communication style, which guarantees the gaslighter that their demands won't be satisfied. The cycle of manipulation is broken by Sigma INFJ, who never gives in to pressure to use a gaslighter. In order to maintain control, gaslighters frequently rely on their target's acquiescence. However, Sigma INFJ defy this trend by standing their ground. This throws off the power dynamic, which makes it harder for the gaslighter to function as intended. When you refuse to meet their wants as a Sigma INFJ, are you not terrified of the gaslighting getting angry? 2. By never abiding by their principles. Sigma INFJ resists giving into manipulations of their ideals or beliefs using gaslighting techniques. In the face of manipulation, they will not waver from their moral principles. This dedication serves as a strong defense against attempts by gaslighters to misrepresent their beliefs. Communicating their values clearly is important to Sigma INFJs. With unflinching conviction, they articulate their ideas and beliefs, making it obvious that attempts to change or distort these essential components of their identity will not succeed. A solid foundation that is resistant to gaslighting is established by this transparent communication. For Sigma INFJ, refusing to adhere to their ideals becomes an unbreakable barrier. They recognize that people who use gaslighters may attempt to take advantage of weaknesses or cast doubt on others, but by adhering to their principles, they build an unwavering barrier against deceitful methods. They use this resistance to fit in as a safeguard for their mental and emotional health. Authenticity and self-awareness are highly valued traits among Sigma INFJs. They understand how crucial it is to uphold the integrity of their views in the face of attempts at gaslighting. This dedication to authenticity serves to uphold their feeling of self-worth and dignity while also shielding them against manipulation. 1. By keeping a distance from emotions. The protective tactic of emotional detachment is valued highly by Sigma INFJs. They are aware of the deceptive tactics used by gaslighters, who may attempt to elicit intense emotions or uncertainty. Sigma INFJ builds a wall that protects them from the psychological effects of manipulative strategies by maintaining their emotional detachment. Sigma INFJ can see gaslighting attempts with objectivity and clarity because of their emotional detachment. By keeping a distance from the emotional and mental pain that gaslighters may attempt to instill, Sigma INFJ avoids allowing the manipulation to negatively impact their emotional and mental well-being. Effective communication is essential to this tactic. With assertiveness, Sigma INFJs communicate their boundaries and reject emotional manipulation. They send a message to gaslighters that attempts to cause confusion or emotional discomfort will not succeed by expressing their emotional detachment. This distance from emotions is also a means of self-preservation. The mental health of Sigma INFJs is their top priority, and they don't let gaslighters get to them down. They continue to be masters of their own story and world. By refusing to give in to the manipulator's desire for emotional responses, the detached position breaks the loop of gaslighting. Understanding that their emotions might be turned against them, Sigma INFJs successfully disarm gaslighters by being emotionally detached, which makes it difficult for them to accomplish their objectives. How do you, as an INFJ, exercise emotional detachment in situations that trigger you? Sigma INFJs rarely shut people down since they respect other viewpoints and honors others' thoughts. But Sigma INFJs will not hesitate to shut such viewpoints down when they diverge from reality and the truth. Do you also put out a gaslighter as a Sigma INFJ? In what other way could you accomplish it?